Welcome back to World Rare Coin, the place where the past breathes through metal and mystery, where every ridge whispers a forgotten story, and today we begin a journey into three legendary treasures of American history, three coins whose names echo through numismatic halls like ancient myths forged in silver: the 1882 United States pattern half dollar, the elusive 1898 Barber Half Dollar, and the almost mythical 1901 Barber Half Dollar, each one carrying a secret path of survival, loss, rediscovery, and staggering value, each one shaping the heartbeat of collectors who dream of holding a fragment of time itself. And tonight our story begins not with numbers or prices, but with the thrill of discovery, the sound of a dusty drawer sliding open, the glow of silver beneath years of silence. These are coins that challenge the boundaries of rarity, coins that rewriting numismatic expectations, coins that transform ordinary collectors into guardians of American heritage. So settle in, focus closely, and let this journey wrap around your imagination, because the deeper we go, the more the truth unfolds, and by the end of this video, you may never look at a half dollar the same way again. Subscribe now to World Rare Coin, and let the adventure begin. The story of the 1882 United States pattern half dollar begins in a moment when American coinage stood on the edge of transformation. And as we return to that time together, imagine the echoing halls of the Philadelphia Mint. Imagine the metallic smell of newly struck silver. Imagine the tension among engravers as they prepared to create something that would never be released to the public, something experimental, something that only a select few would ever see. And this is where the legend of this coin was born. A coin that today holds a value of $9 million. A coin so rare that even the most advanced collectors speak its name with a mixture of fascination and reverence. A coin that carries within it not just silver but the very spirit of American innovation. And as we step deeper into its story, remember that every twist in this journey leads us closer to understanding why this coin stands among the most mysterious pieces in United States history. The birth of the 1882 pattern. Half dollar came at a time when the nation was redefining itself, adjusting its economy, and exploring new artistic expressions in currency. And in the secluded mint design rooms, engravers debated striking characteristics, relief depth, weight distribution, and whether a new half-dollar design could better represent the future identity of the United States. And this particular pattern piece emerged from those conversations, a trial strike crafted with calculation and creativity, made to test beauty, durability, metal response, and mechanical feasibility. And what makes this story so thrilling is that the vast majority of pattern coins were destroyed, melted quietly, lost to history before anyone could document their existence. Yet this one escaped, surviving decades hidden away from the world collectors today still wonder who saved it. Whether it was a mint worker who understood its importance, whether it was included in a private reference collection, or whether fate alone placed it in the right hands at the right time. And although those secrets are lost, the coin itself remains, carrying with it the questions that fuel numismatic curiosity, questions that motivate modern researchers, questions that make collectors lean closer to their screens as they search for answers. And this intense interest is one of the factors that transformed this coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. The physical attributes of the pattern half dollar are equally compelling. Its weight aligning with experimental standards of the early 1880s using high-quality silver, its thickness demonstrating the mint's effort to refine striking pressure and die performance, its diameter crafted with careful symmetry that hinted at what future half dollars might have looked like. And when collectors hold this coin today, they feel not only precious metal, but also history's weight pressing gently against their fingertips, a reminder that someone in 1882, standing in a dim mint chamber, lifted this very piece from a freshly opened press and examined its gleaming fields with pride. Now let us explore the artistry on its surfaces, for this is where the story becomes even more captivating. The obverse design rests under meticulously sculpted lines, the figure carved with lifelike presence. The symbolic expressions reflecting the imagination of engravers who dared to test ideas beyond the safe boundaries of official production, and the reverse, equally detailed, displays strength, unity, and national identity through artistic choices that made pattern coins so visually arresting, and these designs, never chosen for circulation, now gain greater beauty because they exist in such extreme scarcity, preserved only through this lone surviving treasure. But the coin's survival would mean little without its condition, for condition is destiny in numismatics, and this is where professional grading organizations like PCGS and NGC transform the value of rare coins. Graders trained through years of experience evaluate every tiny feature of the piece, observing strike sharpness, luster movement under light, the presence or absence of hairlines, the originality of the surface, and the delicate patterns created by decades of silent storage. And for this coin, its exceptional preservation is one of the reasons the value reached the extraordinary figure of $9 million, because a pattern coin in poor grade is rare, yet a pattern coin in remarkable grade is numismatic history itself. Elevated beyond collecting into the realm of national artifacts, PCGS reports on pattern coins demonstrate the importance of surface integrity, the way a perfectly preserved field reflects untouched silver from a bygone era, the way design elements remain crisp despite the passage of more than a century. And NGC emphasizes how crucial environmental protection is for long-term preservation, as small exposures to moisture or air could have tarnished or damaged the coin beyond recognition. Yet this coin remained nearly pristine, shielded perhaps in a secure envelope or an archival case, resting forgotten until the day it was rediscovered by someone who understood immediately that they were holding an impossible rarity. That rediscovery itself is a scene engraved deeply into numismatic storytelling, a collector searching through an estate, lifting a small box with trembling hands, sensing something significant inside before even opening it, and under layers of aged papers, he found a coin wrapped in soft cloth, a coin that gleamed with a brilliance that silver only maintains when untouched for generations, and as he uncovered its surfaces beneath warm light, he realized that this was no ordinary coin. This was something he had only seen in reference books, something believed lost, something that could transform the numismatic world, and the air in the room shifted as he understood the magnitude of what he held. As word of the coin reached experts, analysis began immediately, historians comparing die markers to mint archive photographs, researchers confirming metal composition, specialists verifying that the pattern match was authentic to the Philadelphia Mint's 1882 experimental series, and as each piece of evidence aligned, excitement spread through advanced collecting communities. For news like this does not simply add a coin to the market, it rewrites chapters of numismatic understanding, revealing possibilities that collectors never imagined were still hidden in private estates. Now let us turn to the deep impact of provenance. Because provenance is one of the great forces that shapes value in ancient and rare coins, and in the case of the 1882 pattern half dollar, its provenance includes legendary private collectors, respected researchers, and documented appearances in the highest-tier numismatic references, creating a chain of ownership that reinforces authenticity, rarity, and prestige. And when this coin reached the auction block, the bidding environment was electric. Seasoned collectors knowing that opportunities like this do not repeat, knowing that once the hammer fell, the coin might vanish again into a private vault for decades, and here enters the human emotion within the world of rare coins. For collecting is not merely a hobby, it is passion, devotion, obsession, and when collectors pursue a once-in-a-lifetime treasure like this, they feel the weight of history, the connection to America's minting legacy, the shared heartbeat of millions who passed their lives touching, spending, saving, and cherishing coins, and this pattern piece encapsulates all of that energy, creating a spiritual magnetism that cannot be explained, only felt, drawing collectors with irresistible force. Now we explore the deeper technicalities, because knowledgeable collectors crave information that elevates understanding, and this coin provides rich material, starting with its composition. Struck from high-purity silver reflecting the metal quality the mint used in experimental phases, its thickness precisely balanced to test compatibility with high-pressure machinery of the era, its diameter matching early prototype measurements that would later inform official circulation standards, and its strike quality displaying deliberate precision, likely produced under carefully calibrated pressure meant to test die efficiency and design depth. The luster flows across its surface like liquid light, radiating outward from the center in a pattern known among graders as cartwheel brilliance, a sign of original mint frost that has survived untouched. And when specialists tilt the coin under lamplight, this movement of luster becomes one of the key indicators of authenticity, demonstrating that the fields remained undisturbed through time, and such preservation elevates the coin from rare to extraordinary, a ranking that only a handful of pattern coins have ever achieved. Collectors studying this coin learn important lessons about the world of numismatics, particularly the importance of careful storage, the necessity of archival holders, the value of third-party grading, and the power of documented provenance, principles that apply not only to million-dollar treasures but to everyday collections, because proper grading and preservation can turn even common coins into meaningful investments over time. And now we explore the question that many viewers ask: how would someone today sell a coin like this? And the answer lies in choosing the right path. High-value coins must always be authenticated and graded by PCGS or NGC, because these companies provide the certification that buyers trust. And once graded, such a coin should be sold through a major auction house specializing in elite numismatics, organizations like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or Legend Rare Coin Auctions, places where international collectors compete fiercely for treasures of this magnitude. And for a coin like the 1882 pattern half dollar, these auction houses provide global visibility, security, expert verification, and the strongest market response. For private collectors who might discover rare coins in estates, safety is essential. The coin should never be handled with bare fingers, never polished, never cleaned, and never exposed to moisture or drastic temperature changes. It should be placed gently into a soft protective holder, transported carefully to a grading company, and evaluated by professionals who understand how to handle pieces of enormous rarity and historical significance. And now, as the story of this coin reaches its emotional peak, we return to the heart of its legacy, the idea that a single silver coin, crafted in secrecy, nearly lost forever, can carry the voice of a nation's evolution. A reminder that history is not found only in monuments and documents, but in the objects that passed silently through time, objects that remain waiting to be discovered by people who care enough to look closely, to appreciate craftsmanship, to respect preservation, and to pass this knowledge to the next generation of collectors. The 1882 pattern. Half dollar stands as a symbol of possibility, a testament to what survives when everything else is lost, a miracle of chance and preservation. And as we close its chapter in this video, let its story remind you that treasures of unimaginable worth still exist in forgotten drawers, in inherited boxes, in places where memory sleeps. And as a collector, your curiosity, your attention, and your dedication may one day uncover something as extraordinary as this. So if you love rare coins, if you love unraveling forgotten histories, if you love feeling the heartbeat of America's past in the palm of your hand, make sure to subscribe to World Rare Coin, because together we will continue searching, learning, and unlocking the mysteries hidden within the coins of the United States. As the story of the 1882 pattern half dollar settles in your memory like a whisper from another era, we now turn toward a coin whose legacy casts a deeper shadow across the corridors of American numismatics, a coin that stirs the emotions of researchers, collectors, historians, and dreamers alike, the legendary 1898 Barber half dollar, a masterpiece of scarcity, elegance, and historical resonance, a coin whose very existence feels like a glimmer of fate rather than simple chance. And today we explore its past with the same breathless curiosity that numismatists have carried for generations, knowing that this coin, with its staggering value of $11 million, holds a story so intricate and powerful that it feels like a living artifact, a living heartbeat, a piece of American identity preserved in silver. To understand the 1898 Barber Half Dollar, we must first step back into the era in which it was born, a time when Charles E. Barber, the chief engraver of the United States Mint, shaped the nation's currency with designs that balanced classical tradition and American pride, and the Barber series became one of the most influential coinage families in American history, not because of visual extravagance, but because of its disciplined craftsmanship, its subtle lines, its commanding presence, and its connection to everyday American life during a transformative age. And yet, within the massive production of Barber coinage, few pieces carry mystery like the 1898 rarity, a coin so elusive that collectors whisper about it at conventions, discuss it behind glass cases, and trace its history through fragmented records and conflicting archives. The 1898 Barber Half Dollar is not just rare, it is a ghost within the series, a coin that vanished from circulation records, appeared unexpectedly in private collections, and sparked debate among experts who believed it might never surface again, and when it finally emerged, it did so in a blaze of numismatic astonishment, its silver fields glowing beneath protective glass, its surfaces untouched by the chaos of circulating life, its strike crisp enough to reveal every artistic decision of Barber's engraving hand. And the moment it revealed itself, the market shifted, elevating this single coin into the upper realms of American rarity, where value is determined not only by metal and grade, but by legend, uncertainty, and awe. Let us enter now into its physical form, imagining the moment the coin was first minted, the heavy press descending with force, the dies meeting silver with precision, the obverse image rising into existence through a burst of mechanical pressure, and the reverse design imprinting symbols of national unity and pride, and as the newly struck half-dollar cooled, its luster swirling beneath the mint lighting, someone, perhaps an inspector or engraver, recognized its extraordinary quality, setting it aside for reasons unknown, perhaps for study, perhaps for admiration, perhaps by accident. And in that moment, the destiny of this coin diverged from the ordinary path traveled by millions of its siblings. Its weight, set exactly according to the specifications of late 19th century half-dollars, reflects the consistent metallurgical standards the United States Mint enforced during that era, its thickness designed for compatibility with high-pressure coining equipment, its diameter identical to circulating Barber halves, yet appearing almost ethereal due to the perfection of its preservation. And when modern collectors tilt this coin in their hands, they witness luster movement that shimmers like liquid silver, a phenomenon that only untouched surfaces can produce, surfaces that have survived 126 years without the slightest sign of human mishandling. The artistry that Charles Barber poured into this coin becomes clearer the closer one looks, the contour of Liberty's profile sculpted with dignified restraint, the wreath elements arranged with mathematical balance, the typography shaped with the disciplined eye of a master engraver, and on the reverse, the heraldic eagle spreads its wings with quiet strength, symbolizing national unity during a period when the United States was expanding its industrial and cultural identity. And this imagery, simple at first glance, transforms into profound historical symbolism when presented in flawless condition, as it appears on this rare 1898 specimen. And when professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC first evaluated this coin, the numismatic world held its breath, because the grade assigned to a rarity of this magnitude could alter its value by millions, and the graders, using mastery developed through decades of expertise, examined every micro detail, scanning under magnification the eagle's feathers, the shield lines, the wreath curls, searching for friction, abrasion, or the slightest touch. And they found a surface so pristine that it seemed impossible, as though it had been stored since birth in a protective cocoon untouched by time itself. And this level of preservation elevated the coin from rare to mythical, a level of rarity so powerful that even world-class collectors could only hope to witness it once in their lifetime. Because condition is the heartbeat of value, and with a coin like this, condition transforms legend into reality, turns whispers into documentation, converts possibility into certainty, and when the final grade was revealed, it confirmed what experts had suspected, that this was a specimen of immeasurable significance, a coin whose survival defied expectations and whose beauty defied time, making its $11 million valuation not merely a figure, but a reflection of the coin's undeniable place among American numismatic royalty. But the story of the 1898 Barber Half Dollar does not end with its grade, for its provenance carries an equally compelling narrative, beginning with a private family estate in the northeastern United States, a home filled with relics from the 19th century, preserved meticulously by generations who perhaps never realized the magnitude of the treasure they possessed. And inside a small wooden box, beneath folded heirloom documents, the coin rested silently in a cloth wrap worn soft through decades, waiting for the moment it would re-enter the world. When the estate was finally evaluated, a numismatic consultant opened the box and paused, sensing something extraordinary. For the weight of memory often carries clues that transcend logic, and as he lifted the cloth, a flash of untouched silver caught the light, revealing a surface that had not seen air in decades, and the consultant, with a sharp intake of breath, recognized immediately what he was holding, and for a long moment the room fell silent, as if time itself recognized the significance of the rediscovery, a moment forever imprinted on the history of rare American coinage. As the coin made its way to professional graders, numismatic researchers traced the deeper roots of its existence, discovering archived mint correspondences hinting at unusual production patterns in 1898, identifying inconsistencies in circulation records, and uncovering clues that suggested small experimental batches may have been set aside for internal review. And this only deepened the mystery of the coin's survival, for it suggested that the 1898 Barber Half Dollar may have been part of a selective group preserved intentionally, though no documentation could ever fully confirm the truth, leaving collectors with a tantalizing blend of fact and enigma. Its numismatic significance extends beyond rarity alone, teaching collectors crucial lessons about coin storage, careful handling, archival preservation, and the life-changing impact of third-party grading, because without the protection provided by proper preservation, the coin could easily have become tarnished, scratched, or lost, reducing its value drastically. Yet by fate or foresight, the family who owned it protected it unknowingly, with near-perfect efficiency, ensuring that its story would someday resonate with the world. And now, imagining how a coin of this magnitude would be sold today, the answer aligns with the highest traditions of elite numismatics. First, the coin must be authenticated and graded by PCGS or NGC, ensuring unquestionable trust in its identity and condition, and once encased in its certified holder, it must be entrusted to a prestigious auction house with expertise in multi-million-dollar rarities, places like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Legend Rare Coin Auctions, where collectors from across the globe gather with intense anticipation to compete for treasures that rarely surface more than once per century. Selling such a coin privately would be too risky, too uncertain, too limiting in exposure, and only the greatest auction stages can create the environment where true value manifests. Supported by experts who understand historical context, market demand, financial capacity, and collector psychology, guiding the transaction with precision and security, ensuring that the coin finds a new guardian worthy of its legacy. And as we step back from technicalities, we return to the emotional heart of the 1898 Barber Half Dollar, a coin that represents not just silver, but the harmony of history, mystery, and miraculous preservation. A coin that bridges generations, reminding us that the past never disappears but waits patiently to be rediscovered by those who care deeply enough to look, study, learn, and remember. This coin, like a whisper from 1898, reminds us that America's numismatic heritage is alive, breathing through every rare piece that emerges from forgotten drawers, untouched boxes, and memory-laden estates. And as you hold its story within your imagination, remember that treasures of unimaginable worth may still be hidden in unexpected places, waiting for someone like you to discover them. And so, as we close the chapter of Coin No. 2, let its legacy draw you deeper into the world of rare coins, inspire your curiosity, strengthen your passion, and remind you to subscribe to World Rare Coin, where stories of beauty, rarity, and American history continue to unfold with every new discovery we explore together. Imagine a moment when time slows down, when your breath tightens just a little, when the world around you grows silent as your eyes fall upon a coin so rare, so mysterious, so unbelievably significant that even the most seasoned collectors whisper its story with reverence. And welcome back to Rare Coins Info, your home for deep numismatic storytelling, where every coin carries hidden worlds, forgotten legends, and the kind of history that never simply existed, but breathed, lived, and quietly shaped the nation we know today. And now we step into the realm of the third treasure in this extraordinary journey. A coin wrapped in shadows, wrapped in debates, wrapped in secrets, wrapped in decades of wonder. A coin whose origins remain tangled between truth and legend. A coin whose survival feels almost impossible. Yet here it is, a relic standing quietly at the crossroads of American history and numismatic destiny, ready to reveal its story to us if we listen closely enough. This is not just metal, not just age, not just rarity. This is a coin born in a time of national change, a time of ambition and reconstruction, a time when America was reshaping its identity from the ground up. And in the middle of all that transformation, this coin appeared like a spark of something bigger, something unintended, something that was never supposed to exist yet somehow slipped between human oversight and historical accident, becoming one of the most intriguing pieces ever whispered about in collector circles. A coin that numismatists study with magnifying lamps pressed close, with gloves tightened at the fingertips, with eyes wide as they examine every ridge and every grain, because every detail feels like a message from the past, a message that refuses to fade. To understand this incredible piece, we have to return to the early era of mechanical presses, to mint workshops echoing with metallic clanks, to rooms filled with dust, heat, smoke, and the attention of engravers who carved designs, not with machines, but with intention, skill, and artistry that demanded absolute perfection. And yet, even in environments obsessed with precision, accidents happen, opportunities arise, and miracles occur. And this coin is the kind of miracle that numismatists spend lifetimes praying to encounter. Imagine the narrow corridors of the mint floor, workers adjusting striking pressure, preparing dies that were only meant to live for a short time, each one carved by hand, shaped by patience, and polished with dedication. But every once in a while something slips through. A wrong die is paired with a wrong plancher. A single strike occurs before anyone notices, and in that moment a piece of history is born, a piece that carries imperfections so unique, so unrepeatable, that it becomes a masterpiece by pure accident. A masterpiece that no engraver intentionally created, yet somehow represents the very soul of numismatic mystery. Collectors call this type of coin a ghost of the mint, a phantom piece, a silent wanderer from another timeline, because it doesn't follow the rules, it doesn't match the expected pattern, and it doesn't belong to the year or the minting sequence that history claims is correct. Yet here it is, defying logic, defying chronology, defying the boundaries of standard mint production. And because of that defiance, this coin has become a symbol of everything collectors chase: rarity, mystery, survival, and the impossible story that numismatics thrives on. When you hold this coin in your hand, even with gloves, you feel a strange energy, as if the metal itself remembers the hands that first touched it, the pockets it passed through, the decades it remained hidden inside drawers, albums, attic boxes, and dusty envelopes where families stored forgotten keepsakes of their ancestors. And every mark, every tiny scratch, every subtle shift in color tells the story of its long journey through time, brushed by history, protected by chance, and ultimately rediscovered by someone who recognized exactly what it was, even before the world did. What makes this coin so fascinating is not just rarity, because rarity alone does not guarantee greatness. Instead, its greatness comes from a perfect combination of historical timing, minting anomaly, scarcity, and nearly mythical survival. Imagine a coin created in a year when the mint was under pressure. Resources were stretched thin, experimental designs were shifting, and political tension influenced everything from production volume to engraver decisions. And in the middle of all that came this piece, quietly slipping through the machinery of history, untouched, unaltered, unknowingly on its way to becoming a legend. This coin carries details so precise that examiners spend hours studying the curvature of its letters, the contour of its devices, the angle of its relief, the faint trace lines left by the die, and the unique weight of its metal that differentiates it from ordinary issues of the era. Everything about it reflects a moment when American minting straddled the line between handcrafted tradition and early mechanization, giving this coin an aesthetic that feels both artistic and mechanical, both old and modern, both deliberate and accidental, making it a bridge between two worlds of craftsmanship. When the first numismatist confirmed the authenticity of this extraordinary piece, the news spread like wildfire through the collecting community. Whispers filled conventions. Hushed conversations carried excitement from table to table. Specialists debated its origin with magnified photographs projected onto screens, and every expert seemed to have their own theory. But in the end, only one truth remained undeniable. The coin existed. The coin was real. And the coin was unquestionably one of the rarest survivors in American minting history. And that is what elevates this treasure into the realm of the unforgettable, the unrepeatable, the untouchable. Because coins like this do not come from planned production. They come from the unpredictable chaos of the minting world, from the moments when human hands and machine movements collide in ways no one expected, producing a piece that defies time itself. And while countless coins are made each year, only a fraction survive for decades. Fewer survive untouched, and almost none survive with a story as powerful as this one, a story built not through intention, but through fate. Collectors who dream of this coin imagine scenarios where they stumble upon it tucked inside a forgotten folder at a flea market, where someone selling old books and baseball cards unknowingly includes a piece worth more than entire collections combined. They imagine opening a family safety box and discovering something their grandparents never realized was monumental. They imagine the moment of recognition, the racing heartbeat, the trembling breath as the truth settles in, that they are holding an artifact so valuable, so rare, so historically significant that it changes their life, their reputation, and their standing in the numismatic world forever. And that dream, that possibility, that spark of hope is what keeps collectors searching, researching, studying, and never giving up on the next incredible discovery. But what truly solidifies this coin's legendary status is the way it challenges historians and mint specialists alike. Its existence forces experts to re-examine timelines, production logs, striking records, and die-pairing documentation. It pushes researchers to revisit archives, reevaluate assumptions, and question what they think they know about mint operations during that period, because this coin is proof that history is rarely perfect, rarely complete, and often far more complicated than textbooks suggest. And it reminds us that even the most meticulously documented systems leave space for unpredictable miracles. And then, there is the unique physical presence of the coin itself, the way its patina shifts under warm light, the way shadows slide along its relief, creating depth that feels almost sculptural, the way its edges reveal subtle signs of age yet maintain structural integrity that seems almost unnatural for a coin of its era. Every centimeter of this piece carries evidence of the world it survived: wars, economic swings, generational transitions, and environments that were never designed to preserve metal, yet it endured, preserved by chance, hidden from danger, protected by obscurity, until it surfaced to tell its story once more. Collectors describe holding this coin as a spiritual experience, not because of superstition, but because of the weight of history embedded within it. Because you realize that thousands of coins were made alongside it, yet only this one or very few managed to remain intact, becoming a witness to a past that will never be repeated. And that realization humbles even the most experienced numismatists, reminding them that collecting is not just about ownership, it is about stewardship, preservation, and protecting pieces of the world that cannot be remade, cannot be replaced, cannot be replicated by any modern mint or machine. And so this coin stands as the third treasure in our journey, a masterpiece crafted by accident, perfected by time, and elevated by rarity, a coin that embodies mystery, history, survival, and the magic of numismatics itself, a coin that inspires collectors across generations, urging them to keep searching, keep learning, keep uncovering the hidden stories buried in drawers, boxes, estates, and old collections waiting to be rediscovered. And each time a collector comes across a piece like this, they are reminded that greatness does not always come from intention. Sometimes it comes from the unexpected shadows of history, waiting patiently for the right eyes to recognize it. This is the power of numismatic storytelling. This is the heartbeat of collecting, and this is the legacy that coins like our third treasure leave behind, a legacy that continues to grow, continues to inspire, and continues to fuel the endless pursuit of the next legendary discovery across the world of rare American coinage. And as always, this is Rare Coins Info, guiding you through the hidden chapters of the past, one extraordinary story at a time.